Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Brandon from Audio Addiction. Thank you for watching this video. If you are new here, thank you for clicking on the video. I really do appreciate it. So, normally I do live reviews, but I know with K-pop music, it's a little different. It's a landscape I'm probably least familiar with. I'd say over the past like 6 months, I've been getting a lot more familiarized with K-pop music. So, big salutes to my roommate, Alex. He's the one who's really kind of been getting me into K-pop music and checking out different artists because that's kind of been my goal for a couple of years now, is to just try to find different artists, different groups, things of that nature to talk about. So if you saw by the title, I'm going to be talking about Newjeans, their new EP, Get Up. You can check it out now. It's out everywhere. And I was suggested by Alex. He's like, oh, you should check this out. This might be in your lane. And so I was like, normally I take his suggestions pretty highly because, A, I feel like he knows more about the genre than I do. And this, I would say, is a little bit less intimidating, I would say, compared to other K-pop or J-pop groups. This one seems a little bit more up my alley, and I heard a little bit of songs while we were like driving to get some food or whatever. And so I wanted to do a review of this, and I haven't done like a real actual recorded review in quite a hot minute. So I felt like, why not do some more K-pop reviews where, I do a little bit more of a deep dive, talk about the songs, break them down a little bit more. So if you love to see this, let me know. Hit that thumbs up. It really lets me know if that's something you guys want to see more so on the channel. I'm hoping to just bring K-pop more to my channel as a whole collectively, but I feel like this gives me a better metric on what people enjoy. So as I mentioned before, it's their new EP, Get Up. The members are, I'm gonna completely butcher them, so please feel free to correct me, but I believe it's Hani, Heron, Minji, and Danielle is the project, the group in, then that's kind of the members. They are from Korea, which is cool, represent, and I didn't really know what to expect going in. It seemed, I've heard OMG before, so I kind of had like a little bit of a familiarity with their sound. And I really enjoyed OMG, and I don't think it was a reaction video I ever wind up posting. So maybe I'll go dig it up and post it on here on the page. But kind of wanted to go through the entire EP, so I have some notes. If I do look over here, you boys got notes on the screen. So the first song being, ironically enough, their name, Newjeans. But there's a space, so I don't know if there's any significant meaning to that or not, but I thought it was cool because it's like, you name a song after you. I just thought that, playful, So I really enjoyed that. The song in the beginning really opens up. It's got this great kind of synth line. I really love the cool phrasing that's going on. And I can say that collectively for the entire EP, like the whole, like whoever is doing like the production value on this and like really kind of getting into the weeds in terms of how the songs sound, just came out so great. And obviously I feel like a lot of K-pop groups really come out with a lot of great polish. They work with a lot of different producers from like all over the world. And so I feel like that type of production really shows in a song like this. It's got this real like drenched reverb sound, which I absolutely love, but the song really doesn't reach its full peak or full momentum until those drums start to come in. That's when like my brain goes like, you're on to this is, Alex is on to something. So I really enjoyed that, as well as that the lyrical reference to So Fresh, So Clean, by Outkast. That I thought that was a really cool lyrical callback. I'm sure there are some others, but that was kind of the first one that I was like, hey, that lyric sounds familiar. I just can't remember where it's from. And then I had to look it up. So that was really cool. I enjoyed that. This one's really interesting as well. I feel like this spotlights more of their kind of ethereal, like whimsical kind of sound. The vocal melodies are really beautiful. That's also something I really enjoy a lot about K-pop. More specifically, I can speak for Newjeans. I really love the vocaling layering going on throughout this entire EP. There's just so much depth going on. Each member, I feel like, gets their own time, and that's what I've really appreciated about K-pop music and delving into that. It's like each member has like a specific like breakout, and I don't think you really get to realize that until you look at the lyrics and you see how everybody is kind of broken out in the song. just really interesting and something that I don't particularly see in the type of music that I listen to on a normal basis. But really enjoyed that, and I've probably have listened to this EP, I don't know, probably close to 50 times or more now at this point, because it's 12 minutes long, so I feel like it's a very digestible EP. And I think for people who maybe aren't familiar with K-pop, I think this is a really good like kind of starting point. I think for me, like Twice is another great band to start with as well. I went to go see Tribe recently, which a video of that will be out very soon. Working on editing that still, but overall, like I've kind of jumped all over the map, and I feel like Newjeans is something that I personally would just enjoy my off time of not listening to like metal and like heavier music, just because it's a nice like vibe check. It's a little bit like more like club house, like all of these really interesting electronic sounding things going on that I don't particularly have a lot of knowledge about. And so for me, it's like a cool new world to jump into. And I think they mesh this kind of like my love of like more lo-fi beats and kind of that sort of stuff, the stuff that I listen to when I edit these videos. And I think that it makes it way more enjoyable to kind of digest it in that way. So really enjoyed this. Again, I kind of referenced the sort of softer lo-fi aspects of this group, and I think that this first song, Newjeans, is a great representation of that as well. So the next song on the EP is Super Shy.
I'll tell you, but I'm super shy, super shy. I'm super shy, but wait a minute while I make you mine, make you mine.
This was probably one of the first songs that, other than OMG, that I got introduced to. I really love the drumming in this song. I think that is really kind of the main staple of the song, the real heartbeat. No pun intended to drummers, but it really kind of cements this track in a unique way, and I love the kind of almost like break beat sort of drumming going on here. As well as the layering, the synth layering. I'm going to be talking a lot about layering, but genuinely, like the layering and the thought that goes into some of these melodies, like you may only hear the melody like one time, but it really kind of cements it in your head. And then every time you go back and listen to the EP and you're just cycling through, you're like, wow, I still remember that part. And then you pick up a new piece and you're like, oh, okay, I remember that really cool synth part. And now I remember another synth part. So I think to me, like, it's very interesting how thoughtful they are in terms of the structure of the song and how it will get stuck in your head. I think that that's really awesome. Once the vocals come into this track, that's game over for me. I absolutely love that. I would say that the hook about this song is pretty immediate, which I think is great. I often find that with K-pop, they get right into it. Like the hooks right there, the music's right there, like the energy's right there. And I think that this one does a pretty good representation of kind of, giving you a little bit of an idea of like K-pop in general. Obviously, there's a lot of caveats to that statement that I just made, but I will say that like kind of the overall thought process, at least in my head, is like they're just going to try to do whatever they can in terms of like really cool vocal lines and how they match up with the synths, how they match up with the drumming, how they mix up with the bass, like the synthy bass. I think it was really well executed, and I love that. I'm sure it's probably fairly obvious to most people that the instrumentation in this song is a very large nod to like house and kind of club music. If you are unfamiliar with Newjeans at all, I feel like this it really kind of this is, I would say this is pretty close to a staple song that I feel like you should listen to if you don't have any idea of Newjeans and you just wind up watching this video and you're like more of an indie metal kind of like non K-pop listener. I think this is probably a pretty good one to listen to. It's got this real kind of like overall like bubblegum pop sort of like energy to it. Like that's the best way I can describe the type of musicality of it. It feels very like very fun, energetic. It's very warm too, which I absolutely love. And I often find that maybe it might be a little bit hard to convey, but like the energy of this song, like the vocals, it just, I don't know, it makes my heart feel good. So I really love that. As well as that, this one being one of my favorite songs off the EP as well. Just again, fantastic layering, fantastic melodies. I think all the members of this group, they all really hit their stride in this song. And it was one that again stuck very much with me. from the beginning. And every time that I come back around and listen to the EP again, Super Shy always comes on. And so I love jamming out to this one. So very, 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 very good song. I would put it in my favorites. This is going to be really hard EP to like nail down, at least in terms of a rating, and I probably won't even honestly give it a rating, but like my overall enjoyment of it, I think like is up there. Like we're making the climb right now, so I absolutely love that. But the third song on the EP is ETA.
What's your ETA? 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 What's your ETA?
This is another song that I kind of got little glimpses of, as I mentioned before, driving with Alex to get some food. This one also came up on the list, and I love the little horn, man. That like air horn, like the way that they kind of like cut it up and segmented it out in this song. It's like super memorable, and you don't feel like it should be, but like anytime that I hear ETA, I'm like, when is that horn part coming in? When is that horn part coming in? And it just is like a staple of the song. And I think that almost to a certain fault, like I think if that was removed out of the song, it might not have the same sort of like directness, I guess. So definitely like it. Composition wise, is probably one of my favorite songs in terms of K-pop composition. I don't have a lot of metrics in terms of that. I haven't listened to as much K-pop as I'm sure people that are watching this have. But I will say in terms of the ones that I've heard thus far, really enjoy the structure. I really enjoy the composition as the song, just as being like somebody who listens to kind of a wide variety of music. It's just the way that everything is kind of layered out, and it almost makes me intrigued to kind of look at like almost the session files and see how many like vocal layers there are, how many like synth layers there are. Obviously, you have that like main horn melody. How do you like incorporate like four different vocal parts? How do you do this? It just seems like it's a very masterful job. And when it comes down to that sort of production value, I gotta give it up to Pop, because like chord structure wise, it could be very easy, right? But like I think when you add a lot of layering and you add a lot of like harmonies and a lot of depth to the track, then that's when it gets really difficult. So I think for me, that's what's made me ultimately impressed by like other genres that I don't like delve into on a more daily basis, is just the kind of attention and detail that I think is required almost to put out this type of music. So really enjoyed this. Love the little kind of cool effects going on vocally too, along with the instruments. I think it's really cool because every time that I listen to ETA or any of the songs off this EP, I think there are some moments where like I'm like, wow, I didn't even really pick up on this. And I've been listening to this album like insert amount of times that I've listened to this album, like, so I think for me, it's like the repeat value is always very nice to get into as well. Cause like there are some songs where I'm like, oh, I didn't even think that part was in there. That's really sick. Like, that's awesome. Or like, I'm spinning it at my job and I'm like, oh, that part's really cool. I didn't even listen to that like when I was in my car listening to it. So really interesting. I really think that the best part about this song is the chorus. I think when they really say, "What's your ETA?" I said that as loud as possible in my car today, and I'm totally not speaking from experience. That was not speaking from experience. I didn't do that. There is a good. I'm just kidding. There's a very good chance I did that, and what I mean by very good chance, I actually did that. So, so that's how I know it's catchy. Is if I'm starting to sing along to it in the car. That's how I know. I also really enjoyed the kind of call and response of this track as well too, especially in that chorus part. It just feels very nice. Like it feels like almost a songwriting trope in a way, but a call and response is just like a legendary thing that I feel like bands, often put into at least one of their songs on their records. And I think this is a very great representation of that. As well as that, I don't think I've mentioned it thus far throughout this review, but I love the transition of like Korean to English. I think that that's awesome. I personally don't understand any of it because I don't speak Korean, and I probably should, or at least understand some of it, especially if I'm getting more into the K-pop space. But just kind of the transition from Korean to English and English to Korean. I think it's just very fluid. Like they really know how to kind of switch up like the like melodies or like kind of like the vocal phrasing, because I imagine in like Korean, obviously like the characters are obviously smaller together and you can probably combine words a little bit easier than in English. But I think that they do a great job of migrating some thoughts in Korean and then transitioning them to English, or having the part in English and then migrating it to Korean. It's just a fluid motion. I think that that's really sick, and I don't know if it would go understated in a lot of the reviews, because I know there are K-pop artists that again flip that switch super well. But I think that I would say the Newjeans did a very good job of kind of again kind of switching those two things. So really enjoyed that song. I would say this one's one of the best ones as well. Very much up there with Super Shy. In terms of like composition and like memorability, like these two songs back to back are just bangers. So absolutely love that. Track 4, Cool With You.
Cool with you. Cool with you. Cool with you.
Really like the synthy bass in this track, really makes this song groove. I absolutely love the hook and the chorus of this track as well too. That's what I've been really vibing out with. And then on top of that, it's got a great kind of drum and bass feel to it. I don't really listen to a lot of drum and bass, but I can definitely tell when that sort of part of the song is a little bit more, popular or more in your face. So that was really cool. The harmony section in that pre-chorus is really nice. I love the vocal harmonies, and some of the ways that they like really sneakily add that in is just nice. It's just good to hear. Like when I put my headphones on or I listen to it in my car with like my Bose speakers, like the clarity and like the thought process behind that is just so great. So I got to give him a lot of credit for that. I do feel like Cool With You is probably the most straightforward song on the EP. I don't really feel like there's a lot of like twists and turns like ETA, and I feel like Super Shy of the ones that we listen to. Even Newjeans, I feel like they're a little bit more out there, I guess, per se, like musically. But I did feel like Cool With You was really solid, but like it did kind of keep to a pretty like straight lane, which I'm not going to complain about at all. I think that is very extremely well done. I just think that it doesn't have to be flashy, and I appreciate the fact that it's not going to be like winning award for like the craziest drop or like the coolest piece, but like instrumentation wise, arrangement wise, it's super solid. Even like again vocally, I think that this song is a little bit more interesting vocally in terms of the arrangement. I think the way that they went about it was very cool and very different from, I think, arguably the songs that we've listened to before. And so to me, comparatively to all the other ones, this like instrumentally speaking, I feel like is pretty straightforward, but I think vocally they took a little bit more liberties. So I think this one was very solid as well. We're gonna move it on to track 5, which is Get Up.
I don't wanna fight you. Shut up. Meet me back in 5 if it matter.
This one really wowed me. I would say this one is pretty damn close to my favorite on the EP. I listed it as like 41 seconds of pure bliss. Anytime this song comes on, I just get chills, man. I think this one is very good. I think it's my favorite, arguably. I'm a huge like jazz and R&B fan. I wasn't a big jazz fan for a long time, but when I started taking guitar lessons early on, like a lot of my guitar teachers were jazz guitar players. So I could definitely notice there's like a lot of like R&B and jazz influence in this track, and especially within like the kind of descending chord phrases, definitely a very jazz-esque sound, which definitely vibing out with. And I think on top of that, incorporating that sort of lo-fi element to this track really matches up well with that sort of jazz R&B inspired like piano synth riff kind of thing. Really, really tight. The drumming is very lo-fi-esque, again, to match up with that sort of sonic sound that they are bringing on this one. I think for me personally, it does feel a little short. Obviously, being 41 seconds, I would expect there to be a little bit more on this song, just because I would love to hear where it would have gone. I think that my brain went into curiosity mode and was like, what else could this song have been if there was more than 41 seconds of it, you know? So I think for me, that's what I would have loved. I would have loved like maybe an extra minute because I know all of these songs are very relatively short. I mean, the whole EP is like just over 12 minutes. So it would have been nice to hear this one be expounded upon just a little bit more. I think it has some of my favorite harmonies on the EP as well. And they just feel so effortless. Like there's something about this song that just feels so flowy and just like serene. Like that's the best way I can describe this song without you listening to it is just it has this sort of serene sound to it, and I think that that's what was really cool about it. So overall, I think this one's probably my favorite, just because I like the vibe of it, and it definitely felt like that kind of uh, lo-fi jazzy sort of things. It's like chill beats you can study to almost, but like with vocals, and I think that that crushes. So Get Up salutes favorite track off the EP. The last song on the EP is Six, and that is ASAP.
Let's talk ASAP. Do you have the time? Let's talk ASAP, baby. Hurry up, don't be.
Really enjoyed this one as well too. I think this one took me by surprise because I think the production of this one was arguably the most expansive and most like experimental. Just because I think like vocally there's some stuff that like mentally you're like, what do you expect from this? But like I don't know. It just kind of went all over the place and not in like a bad way or chaotic way. I just think it was just like something I wasn't really expecting. So I thought that was really cool, really fun track, and but still is I feel like at the heart of it, it's still a Newjeans song. So I really enjoyed that as well. I love the kind of TikTok sound like as they're saying like TikTok. I don't know if they did any sort of like sound panning at all or like rotoscoping, but it does feel like it. I don't know. Maybe you can let me know down in the comments. Maybe I might be going crazy. There's a good chance, but it almost has this sort of like rotoscope feel to it where you like you can hear them saying TikTok and it just kind of like crosses over. So who knows? Maybe I'm going nuts. There's a good possibility. This song almost kind of puts me in a trance. Like every time I listen to it right after Get Up, I'm like, are they trying to put me in a trance? Like just a little bit. And I'm okay with that. Like 100%. Like I'll fully consent to being in a trance, but like it does feel that way. I also would kind of compare this song very similarly to Super Shy. It does show off a little bit more of their kind of bubblegum aesthetic in terms of the sounds that they're able to make, like instrumentally. And I think it kind of really expands upon that idea and takes it more in an experimental direction, as I mentioned before. So I thought this one was really cool. I think it is, I would say it's up there. But I definitely say like some of the previous tracks like Super Shy and ETA definitely more of like a fast paced vibe. And I feel like Get Up is like one of those songs, at least for me personally, that I just really it really stuck with me. That's not to discount Get Up at all because I think it is a great song. It just I think it just kind of pulls in a different direction that I don't know. It worked out well, I would say overall. So, my thoughts on Newjeans, their new EP, Get Up, which is the song that I mentioned like 2 songs ago. So I don't know why I didn't remember it. But I would say I really enjoyed this a lot. This one took me by surprise. I think it'll probably be pretty high up there on my EPs of the year. I know for a fact I'm gonna be jamming this a lot. The melodies, the hooks, the memorability, the shortness too. I think that's kind of like a double-edged sword for me because like I think it's something that I like because it is short and it's very like palatable and very like you get done with it and you're done with it like within 12 minutes. Um, and if you live where I live, like it's gonna take you at least 10 minutes to get somewhere, you know, like you're pretty much done with the EP by the time you get, you know, to your destination. Um, so I feel like in that aspect, like it's great. Like I love it. But I also do feel like and I did ask Alex this that like if groups are more apt to do a lot of EPs over an album, and I feel like very similarly to like, you know, the heavier music that I listen to, like, you know, they're more apt to do EPs or just singles, right? Um So to me, it's like I wish I could hear more of an expansiveness in terms of ideas, because I feel like it would be very interesting to kind of get that sort of thought process down. But overall, I think I really enjoyed this EP as a whole. As I mentioned before, I think it would definitely be ending up on my EPs of the year. As you know, we're halfway through the year. I know for a fact I'm going to get a lot of runtime out of this EP. Not for the sheer fact that it's 12 minutes long, but I just genuinely enjoy every single song off this EP, without a doubt. So it was a very fun experiment, and honestly, it came out great because I really do feel like I love Newjeans now. Like they're the type of artist that I think I've always, I guess, more so looked for in K-pop, because like a lot of K-pop music is really like hype, really energetic, and not to say that these songs aren't either. Like definitely have a lot of life, definitely a lot of energy, but I think the reason why I like New Jeans so much is because I think it's not like bold. It's not like in your face bold, like aggressive kind of in a way. You know, it's not like Blackpink or like, even Twice, I would say. Like I think Twice is very good as well. I love their music, but um I think New Jeans is a little chiller. Like it's a little bit more vibey. It's a little bit more like you feel out the emotions a little bit more. And so I think that's kind of the enjoyment that I get out of listening to New Jeans. So overall, I would say this one is definitely one, if you haven't listened to already, I would highly recommend giving it a listen and some love, because I thoroughly enjoyed my 12-minute journey through this EP multiple times. Like it makes me want to come back, and I again have listened to this EP a lot since it came out on the 21st. Um, and I probably will give it some more listens because I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on New Jeans Get Up, their EP. I'll leave links in the description on go checking out their stuff and picking it up if you'd like. I know it's also in like Target and like main department store kind of things. I would say more so Target. I know they stock a lot of like K-pop stuff as of more recent, especially like larger groups. So definitely check out your local Target if you do want to pick it up. This is not me sponsoring Target at all, but like if you would like to pick up a physical copy of it, you can. You also probably can get it digitally. I'll leave it all down below. Let me know what your favorite tracks are off of New Jeans, new EP Get Up. Would love to know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this review, let me know, because I'd love to do more of these K-pop reviews or just like band reviews in general. I find that those are some stuff that I really enjoy. I just feel like K-pop, especially being in kind of the more EP format, is a little bit more digestible in terms of me going through and listening to the entire EP. So probably will be doing more of these, especially if there's groups that I find out that I really enjoy and they have an EP coming out. You know, your boy's going to be doing it. So thank you for watching. I love all of you. If you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to hit 5K before the end of the year. So if you could help me get to that goal, that would be amazing. I don't remember if in this iteration, if I gave a shout outs, but shout outs to Slash Studios for my How's Moving Castle shirt. Was a pre-order, so I don't know if they're going to be making more or not, but you can go at him on Instagram. I'll leave his link also in the description as well if you'd like to go see what he does. He posts a lot of anime like merch and stuff. So yeah, so I've been scooping that up more recently. So big salutes to, New Jeans. Love your stuff. Hope you come to the States at some point, because I'd definitely go see New Jeans in concert. I feel like that'd be really rad. So yeah, that's kind of it. If you have any other K-pop bands you recommend, Dreamcatcher is definitely on my list. That's going to be done sometime in the near future. Hanabi I'm doing tonight, so if you're watching this now, it's probably already done, but you can check that out too. And yeah, that's it, guys. So thank you for watching. Really cool of you checking this out. So thank you.